We are back on another episode of Bengals Locker Room Conversations. Joe Danneman and Jeremy Rao here at the press conference room inside Paycor Stadium, where both Zac Taylor and Joe Burrow talked on Wednesday. But we want to take you inside the Bengals locker room for some of the conversations we've had with the Bengals after Week 1 winning in Cleveland, now ahead of Week 2 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And one of the more interesting conversations I thought today leading up to Week 2 was with Cam Taylor-Britt.
Cam knew it was coming, I think. He understood that he was going to get questions about his play on Sunday. What I didn't see coming, and this was at the podium behind us, Joe, at this desk, was Zac Taylor basically challenging Cam publicly and saying, a la Marvin Lewis, I see better than I hear. He's challenging Cam to step up his game. It is a good message from the head coach, and we talked with Cam at length about his game on Sunday, and you're going to see it right here. Cam certainly is owning up to his play and wants to be better.
So Cam, on Monday, Al told us that you went to him before the meeting, I believe it was, and said, you can count on me. I'm going to make the adjustments I need to make. How do you go about doing that this week?
Leverage. And I think that was my biggest thing. I kind of let myself down. I feel like the team, the fourth quarter, that throw, and I was in the outside leverage and the out was caught. And I'm like, instantly I believe everybody's seen I did like this. And that's not good enough. It's all about action, and I just got to go and do it, and I just wanted to put it forth out there. That's what I was going to do, Come back out here today, have a great day, and then tomorrow, Friday, continue it, to Sunday. So.
Zac mentioned that also in his press conference. He said that you did all the right things in training camp, all the right things in OTAs in the offseason. It's a little frustrating when in Week 1 maybe you don't get some of the results.
I won't say it's frustrating. It's Week 1. You finally get that action of realness. I felt like it was a solid game, except for that one. I wouldn't need to say nothing about the touchdown, honestly. Slide your feet, kind of undercut it. Can't say nothing about them, anything. No excuses at the end of the day. But, yeah, that's about it.
What was that conversation with Al like? How did you initiate that, and what exactly did you say to him?
Just walked up to him. As simple as that. That's the kind of guy he is, man. You don't have to sugarcoat anything with him. Just kind of walked up to him and was like, man, hey, man, I got you. He was like, I know you do. And I was like, that wasn't to my level of play. On that last one, I know they were counting on me. And that's one thing I don't want to do is this team be counting on me in a clutch moment in the game and, not F it up. Nah, that's not me.
Why is it important to you to verbalize accountability for yourself with your defensive coordinator?
Because I think it kind of starts with me, in a sense, especially in the DB room. When I'm on my high horse and feeling good, I think it kind of gets the rest of the guys going, and I got my compasses like Jordan Battle, Gino, DJ, and they've been playing great. So, I just got to stay with the level of play.
Are you looking forward to the matchup? Brian Thomas had a really good rookie. How much are you looking forward to this kind of matchup?
Man, I love it, man. Any matchup, week to week is going to be like this. So, this week is him, and that's what we got to go do is make sure he doesn't have a breakout game.
What makes him, he obviously had a great rookie year. What makes him maybe a tough matchup?
He can get open, man. He's 6'2", big body guy. And he's not slow, so he can't take the top off, kind of play top down, maybe get a little physical. You don't know free releases, like I said, big body guy, man, kind of get you out the way.
How much is the press rules maybe a little bit different with Al and Lou? Obviously, they have different press philosophies. How have those kind of evolved with Al? How maybe different between the two?
I think press is press. There's certain differences of, pre-snaps, and stuff like that. But other than that, I think press is press, at the end of the day.
So much talk about a fast start here in Cincinnati. You guys got the Week 1 win. Is a fast start bigger than just 1 week, though?
Yeah, that's not good enough. I think we're starting for excellence, and that's why I did go to Al Week 1 instead of Week 10, and want to get your act together then. I think everything starts right now, and 1-0 isn't good enough. We have to be 1-0 every week.
Now, on the back end of that, it's good that Cam is taking accountability. The reason why Zac Taylor is saying after 1 week, I see better than I hear is because Cam did this last year with Lou Anarumo. This is not the first time that Cam has had to do this, step up and say, look, I'm not playing my game, I'm not playing good enough, and I'm going to be better. This coaching staff, even though Lou's gone, has heard this before. It's why it needs to look better really on the field here in Week 2.
Certainly the defense has been such a talking point around this organization, not just this week, but leading up to Week 1 in Cleveland. Could they be better this season? I don't think we'll know that until they start facing some of the more elite offenses in the NFL, but there were certain players that I thought popped on Sunday against the Cleveland Browns. Certainly Demetrius Knight, the game he had in his first game in the NFL. And I thought Jordan Battle played as well as anybody on defense for the Bengals. He was flying around the field. Zac Taylor told me that Jordan was playing, quote, with his hair on fire. So I spent some time with Jordan on Wednesday ahead of the Jacksonville game to ask him about that performance and also one of the celebrities he met during his off day here in Cincinnati. Felt like you were everywhere on Sunday. Do you feel like that was one of your better games here in Cincinnati?
Yeah, for sure. Trying to keep stacking. Game by game. Just have those type of performances for the team. Fly around, get to the ball. Have fun.
Fly around, get to the ball. That's what I noticed. Zac Taylor said you were playing with your hair on fire. What was different about that allowed you to go out there and play with that kind of speed?
I mean, just recognizing the game. Trusting the plan. We having a story. Going into the week. Seeing and reacting, playing good ball, whatever we call, just doing my assignment, getting the right alignment, just going to play, being physical, and just, closing on the ball carriers, making plays.
I was curious to ask you, do you think it was new defensive coordinator, new scheme, or is it just you developing as a young player that allowed you to play at the level you played at against the Browns?
Yeah, I feel like it's, everything in one, Obviously, the scheme was great for the game, and then obviously, me, just going out there, doing what I do best, playing, which is playing safety, trying to do whatever I can to help the team win, whether it's tackling, making plays on the ball, getting everybody on the right page, as a safety, communicating, just calming the game down for everybody else.
Talking to Demetrius after the game Sunday, he said the identity of the defense you guys won is nasty and hungry. Do you agree with that?
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, hey, whatever D-Nice says goes, He's a great guy, great addition for us as well. He had a great game on Sunday, flying around as well, making plays, making tackles, celebrating. He had a good celebration. I don't know what that was, but it was nice.
It felt like, too, at the point of attack, when you guys were at the point of contact, you were very physical as a group. Was that something that was emphasized this year to be very intentional with your physicality at the tackle point?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, being physical and then, trying to get the ball out as well. That's what we preach, all fall camp. Being +2, being physical, tackling very well. Just making plays as a defense.
Okay, so it's a 1-0 start. That's a big deal around here. We get that. But what's a fast start to you? Is it just 1-0, or is it stacking this and having a really good September?
Yes, just being 1-0 every week. Every weekend, week out. 1-0 in our effort, 1-0 in our discipline, 1-0 in our tackling, 1-0 in our ball disruption. Starts today. Starts Monday. After the game. 24-hour rule. Celebrate the win. Sunday. Maybe a little bit on Monday, but then, Tuesday lock in, start getting ready for the next opponent, which is Jags.
Okay, you got to spend some time with Speed yesterday, we saw. What was that like? Because, listen, my generation doesn't know a lot about him. I know he's from Cincinnati, but he's worldwide a massive figure. What was it like to be part of that yesterday?
Yeah, it's just cool, to go out in the city, to see guys like that, come back and, give back, to the people who helped him, get to where he is. It was a fun experience. Obviously, it's a lot of people who know him, probably had I think 43, million people watching at the time. So, it's crazy, just to see the impact he has on the world.
Was there a lot of people around? Because, look, you're a football player. You get recognized where you go. But was it different with him on the streets of Cincinnati?
Yeah, for sure. He's a different type of, that's a different type of recognition right there. That's global recognition right there. Everybody in the world knows Speed.
Certainly one of the biggest stats that came out of the Bengals win in Cleveland is +2 in turnovers. Jordan Battle had a pick. So did DJ Turner. That's a big deal to this team, especially when the offense wasn't its normal self against the Browns. The defense being +2 in the turnover battle. They're going to be challenged more against Jacksonville. We get that. They come with Travis Etienne. They come with Brian Thomas and Travis Hunter and Trevor Lawrence. They can score more than Cleveland, but certainly Sunday against the Browns looked a little bit better from the Bengals defense.
The Jags had the best run game in the entire NFL in week 1. So how does that look against this better, we think better, Bengals run defense on Sunday is a big question. Joe, what do you know about Spider Y2 Banana? Is that it?
I found out that Zac Taylor said he threw 14 touchdown passes in college on that play alone. That's the number, 14.
And it wasn't Y2, mate, right?
No.
Spider Y2 Banana. Okay.
Y2 Banana.
Something like that happened last year on a play to Sam Hubbard, right? It was a little different, a little nuanced, but Sam Hubbard is the ruler of the jungle this week. Well, that play played out with Noah Fant and Sunday's win over the Browns, and already Noah Fant is making an impact in just one game for the Bengals, and we talked with Noah Fant inside the locker room.
We didn't get a chance to talk to you post-game, but specifically with the first half and with the offense, just how did it feel to finally kind of get into the rhythm with this group?
Yeah, I think it was good. I think the first half went decent for us, which we were happy about, but then the second half we weren't as productive as we wanted to be. So I think that's been the focus of just kind of going back to the drawing board on that and figuring out where we need to be better to consistently put up points throughout the whole game.
What have some of those conversations looked like throughout this week to try and be better in that regard?
Yeah, it's just a consistency thing. I think that everybody's taking it among themselves to contribute where they need to contribute at and do their job, and everybody's working towards that cause. So we'll get it figured out.
How did it feel to get your first touchdown as a Bengal?
It was great. It was awesome. Great play design, really, by the coaches. I didn't have to do too much, but Joe delivered a great ball, and it was a lot of fun. It was a special moment for me, and hopefully many more throughout my career. So.
You thought about what it'll be like to get out here for the first time as a Bengals?
Yeah, I think it'll be great. I know the fans call it the jungle. Kind of learning as I go here, but I'm excited to get out there and play in front of our home fans, and I can tell just by being around the city that the Bengals are very important to this community. So it'll be a really special experience. So.
How does it feel to be, to come out of week 1, regardless of what happened, regardless of how it went down, what happened in the second half, but just to be 1-0?
That's the most important thing, right, is that we won the game. Obviously, we go back and look at, we could have been better in these situations. That's always a part of the game. That's super important to set us up for success down the road and into the season. But we came out of it 1-0, and that's the most important thing. So we go and play the Jaguars this week, trying to get another win. So.
As high as you've thrown a ball on a touchdown celebration in your life?
It went pretty high. I went back and looked at the film, and it went pretty high. So I was pretty proud of that. If it would have came down pretty quickly, I would have been kind of disappointed. So.
How crucial is it for you guys to carry over that momentum from week 1 as you look to go 2-0 here?
Yeah, I think it's really important. Obviously, you kind of get rolling and things can stack on one on another, and then you get down the road and you're like, oh man, we put a good run of games together here. But I think that the biggest thing is just focusing on 1 week at a time and focusing on where we can improve at. That's the biggest thing, right? Even when you're coming out with wins, it's great that we came out of that with a win. But continuing to improve each week is going to do nothing but continue to increase our probability of winning. So,
what impresses you about what you've seen on tape from Jacksonville?
I mean, there's a lot of things to be impressed with. I think their front four are very talented. I think all of their guys are, big, strong, fast, can do a lot of things. Their linebacker, Foye, he's trained back in Denver, where I've trained at before, and he's a good dude and a great player. So it'll be really interesting to go against those guys and get a feel for it and kind of match up where we can try and take advantage of some things. But they're a great defense, solid defense, and it's going to be a challenge for us.
For the offense to be successful on Sunday, what's maybe a key or two that needs to happen?
I think just consistently, everybody just executing our job. It's not just one specific thing. I think that if we get everybody working in the same direction, doing what they need to do, executing their job, I think that we'll be set up for success, and it'll come. It'll come with time. I'm not too worried about it. I think that things are going to get going. I think that, like I said before, our first half was really well, but then our second half kind of fluttered out a little bit. So I think we'll get it back on track. But it just starts with everybody doing what they need to do, doing their jobs, and contributing where they can.
So good stuff from Noah Fant. I think Zac Taylor gets excited talking about tight ends. And he kind of mentioned this week that they can have things drawn up for 4 tight ends if 5 are active, which is probably rare. They have things for that when they play the Bills. I'm kidding. They love tight ends against the Bills. But it's exciting to see this offense expand. Certainly in a game in week 1 where they had to find a way to get to 17 points to get that win, you can see a tight end like Noah Fant already have an impact.
And you can see the Bengals spent all offseason long trying to rebuild this team. They didn't do much during free agency. Certainly they went heavy on defense in the draft. But some of these signings they made in the month leading up to opening day have made a big impact. Noah Fant, certainly Dalton Reisner, who's going to be the starter at right guard for the time being. These guys have been difference makers this early into their career here in Cincinnati. Okay, you heard from Noah Fant, Jordan Battle, and Cam Taylor-Britt. We'll see you next time on another episode of Bengals Locker Room Conversations.